Imagine for a moment that you are walking through the most expensive, most resource-rich, and most valuable plot of land on this entire planet. You might think of the gold mines of Africa or the oil fields of the Middle East. But you would be wrong. The wealthiest spot on this earth is just down the road. It is the cemetery dot in that ground. There are books that were never written. There are paintings that were never captured on canvas. There are businesses that never opened their doors, and world-changing ideas that died in the hearts of the people who carried them. They died because those individuals had sight, but they did not have vision. They had a job, but they never discovered their work. You must understand this. You are not an accident. You are not a mistake of nature or a byproduct of chance. Nothing is ever created for the sake of its own existence. Everything is created for the sake of a purpose. An architect does not draw a line until he knows the function of the building. A manufacturer does not build a single part until he knows the intent of the machine. If the manufacturer of a complex piece of equipment knows its purpose before he makes it, then your existence is proof that there is something you were born to fulfill. You are a solution to a problem that someone is currently facing. You are an answer to a question the world is asking. The greatest tragedy in your life will not be death. The greatest tragedy is to live 70, 80, or 90 years on this planet and never know why. It is to be busy but not effective. It is to have motion but no direction. Listen to me carefully. You were not sent here just to pay bills and die. You were sent here to dominate an area of giftings that only you possess. But you will never find your direction by looking at your current circumstances. You find your direction by looking at your design. Your design reveals your destination. I want you to take a deep breath and realize that you are currently standing on the edge of a gold mine, but it isn't beneath your feet, it is trapped within your chest. Most people spend their entire lives terrified of the day. Their heart stops beating, but they never stop to consider the tragedy of what stays trapped inside them while they are still breathing. Consider the silence of a graveyard. We look at the headstones and see names, dates, and tributes. But if you could peel back the layers of the earth, you wouldn't just find remains. You would find the greatest collection of wasted treasure in the history of the universe. In those silent rosely symphonies that were never conducted, cures that were never trialed, and leadership revolutions that were silenced by the fear of what if. The cemetery is the wealthiest place on earth because it is the only place where potential becomes permanent. It is the repository of the could have been. You must understand that you were not sent to this planet to be a container. You were sent here to be a dispenser. Most of us treat our talents like fine china. We keep them locked away in a cabinet, waiting for a special occasion that never arrives. We protect our ideas, we guard our passion, and we play life so safely that we end up arriving at the finish line with our greatest gifts still wrapped in the original packaging. But safety is the enemy of legacy. The goal of life is not to arrive at the grave in a well-preserved body, having avoided every risk. The goal is to skid in broadside, totally used up, shouting, "I have nothing left to give." Nature itself screams this principle to us. A seed is not a tree. It is the promise of a forest. But if that seed refuses to crack, if it refuses to give up its life to the soil, the forest remains trapped inside it forever. It dies a seed. What a waste of a forest. You are a seed. Your dreams, your unique perspective, and your specific way of solving a problem are the forest inside of you. But if you are too comfortable being a seed, the world will never sit in your shade. Listen to me carefully. The world does not need more people who are just trying to survive. We have enough survivors. We need people who are willing to be emptied. When you hold back your smile, your encouragement, your business idea, or your art, you are robbing the rest of us. You are holding hostage the very thing we might need to find our own way. You have a responsibility to be exhausted by your own greatness. You should go to bed every night tired, not because you were busy working a job, but because you were consumed by your work. There is a profound, heavy sadness in the thought of a person reaching their final moments and realizing they are still full of music. Imagine the weight of that regret, the realization that you are leaving this world with the very thing the world needed most. You must make a demand on yourself today. You must decide that you will not contribute to the wealth of the graveyard. You must decide that you will be your own greatest consumer, using up every ounce of your energy, every drop of your creativity, and every spark of your passion until there is nothing left for the earth to claim but an empty shell. Release the pressure of your potential. Start the project. Write the first page. Speak the truth you've been hiding. Do not let the earth inherit the riches that were meant for the living. Your life's mission is simple but demanding. You must exhaust your potential until you have nothing left to offer but the memory of your impact. Now, once you have committed to dying empty, you must confront the most vital question of your existence. How do you know what to pour out? If you are to be a dispenser and not a container, what exactly is it that you are supposed to be dispensing? This is where most people falter. They look at the world to tell them what they should be doing when they should be looking at their own construction. You must understand this principle. Your design reveals your direction. Think for a moment about a bird. A bird does not attend a seminar to learn how to fly. It does not go to a counselor to discover its purpose. Why? Because its purpose is written into its wings. It's designed the hollow bones, the feathers. The aerodynamic shape tells the bird exactly what it was meant to perform. A fish does not struggle to find its calling. Its fins and its gills are the evidence of its destiny. The design of the creature is the prophecy of its function. You are no different. You were built with a specific equipment that points to a specific destination. The problem is that we have been trained to ignore our design in favor of our job. We have been told to follow the money, follow the trends, or follow the security. But a job is simply what you are paid to do. Your work is what you were born to do. Your job is your skill. Your work is your gift. You can be fired from your job, but no one can ever fire you from your gift. Look at your life carefully. What is the one thing that you can do that others find difficult? What is the one thing that makes you lose track of time? What is the one thing that makes you angry when you see it done poorly? That anger is not a mistake. It is a signpost. It is your design reacting to a problem it was meant to solve. You are frustrated by chaos because you were designed to bring order. You are frustrated by injustice because you were designed to bring equity. Your design is a map, and your passion is the compass. Listen to me, the world does not need you to be a carbon copy of someone else. If you try to be a second-rate version of a famous person, you are essentially telling the universe that the original you was a mistake. But there are no mistakes in design. When a manufacturer creates a car, he doesn't put a jet engine in it just because jet engines are popular or high-paying. He puts the engine in that matches the purpose of the vehicle. If you feel like a high-performance engine stuck in a lawnmower's life, it is because you have ignored your design to satisfy a paycheck. You must stop asking, what should I do with my life? And start asking, what was I built to handle? Your gift is not for you, it is for the world. But you are responsible for the stewardship of that gift. If you do not identify your design, You will spend your life being used by people who have identified theirs. You will be a tool in someone else's workshop instead of the architect of your own destiny. Your direction is not out there in the stars. It is in your fingerprints. It is in the way you think, the way you solve problems, and the unique way you love. When you align your daily actions with your internal design, the friction leaves your life. You stop pushing and start flowing. You stop competing and start manifesting. You realize that you don't have to fight for a place in the world, because your gift will make room for you. When you finally embrace your design, you no longer need permission to be great. You only need the courage to be yourself. Once you have recognized your design, you must develop the most important faculty of the human spirit. You must distinguish between your sight and your vision. Listen to me carefully, because this is where many people lose their way. Sight is a function of the eyes. Vision is a function of the heart. Sight shows you what is. Vision shows you what could be. Sight is limited by your current surroundings, your bank account, and the neighborhood you live in. But vision is independent of your environment. Sight allows you to see the mud. Vision allows you to see the skyscraper that will one day stand upon it. The majority of the world is living by sight. They wake up and they look at the economy. They look at the news. They look at their limitations. And because they only see what is physically present, they become prisoners of their current reality. They say, I can't start that business because I don't have the capital. That is sight. Vision says the capital is not the requirement. The vision is the requirement. And the vision will attract the capital. You must understand that vision is the ability to see the end from the beginning. It is the mental picture of your destination before you have even left the driveway. If you only have sight, you are a victim of your circumstances. But if you have vision, you are a victor over your circumstances. Sight is the enemy of your future because it keeps you anchored to your past. Think about the great pioneers of history. When they looked at a desert, sight told them it was a barren wasteland. Vision told them it was a city. When they looked at the sky, sight told them it was the limit of human reach. Vision told them it was a highway. If you are going to fulfill your purpose, Munroe, you must learn to walk by what you see in your mind, not by what you see with your eyes. Vision is the source of discipline. Why do some people wake up at 4 in the morning to work on their craft while others sleep? It isn't because they have more willpower. It's because they have more vision. When you can see the finished product in your heart, the labor of the present becomes a joy. Without vision, life is just a series of random events. But with vision, every obstacle becomes a stepping stone. Every no is just a detour on the way to your yes. I want to challenge you today. What do you see when you close your eyes? If you only see what everyone else sees, you are just an observer of life. But if you see something that doesn't exist yet, if you see a problem solved, a community healed, or a family transformed, then you have captured a vision. And once you have captured a vision, that vision will begin to capture you. It will wake you up in the middle of the night. It will make you uncomfortable with mediocrity. It will make you realize that your current sight is just a temporary shadow of the reality you were born to create. Do not let your eyes deceive you into thinking that your current struggle is your final destination. Your eyes can only see the walls of the room you are in, but your vision can see the entire world waiting for your contribution. You must protect your vision more than you protect your money, because vision is the currency of the future. While sight keeps you busy with the what, vision keeps you focused on the why. When you live by vision, you stop looking for a job to give you security, and you start looking for a project to give you significance. You stop asking for permission to exist, and you start commanding your environment to align with your purpose. Your eyes are for navigating the room. Your heart is for navigating your destiny. Now, once you have captured that vision, you must protect it with a fundamental law of existence. I want you to listen to this statement very carefully, because it is the most important principle you will ever hear. When the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. If you do not know the purpose of a chair, you might try to use it as a ladder and you will fall. If you do not know the purpose of a sophisticated piece of technology, you might use it as a paperweight, and you have essentially abused the genius of the inventor. Abuse does not always mean being violent or cruel. Abuse simply means abnormal use. It means using something for what it was not intended to do. This is the tragedy of the human race. Most of us are abusing our lives every single day. We are using our incredible minds just to figure out how to pay for a car we don't need, to impress people we don't like. We are using our precious time, the very fabric of our lives, to engage in activities that have nothing to do with our design or our vision. When you do not know why you are here, you will allow other people to use you for their own purposes. If you don't have a purpose for your time, someone else will find a use for it, and I guarantee you it won't be to build your legacy. You must understand that purpose is the only thing that gives you the right to say no. Many of you are tired, you are burnt out, and you are stressed not because you are doing too much, but because you are doing the wrong things. You are being abused by your own schedule because you haven't defined your why. Purpose is a protector. It acts as a filter for your life. When you know your purpose, you don't have to pray about every invitation or struggle with every decision. You simply ask, does this align with why I am on this planet? If the answer is no, then your answer must be no. Without a clear sense of purpose, you will inevitably abuse your relationships. You will look to other people to give you the significance and the validation that only your purpose can provide. You will try to find in a partner or a friend what you should be finding in your work. You become a parasite on others when you haven't discovered the source of life within yourself. But when you know your purpose, you don't go to people to get something. You go to people to share something. Purpose turns you from a consumer into a contributor. Listen to me, purpose is the key to fulfillment. Success without purpose is just well-funded boredom. You can have the house, the title, and the applause. But if you are not doing what you were designed to do, you will go to sleep with a hole in your soul that no amount of money can fill. The world is full of successful failures, people who have climbed the ladder of sight, only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. They have abused their potential by trading their destiny for a paycheck. You must stop apologizing for your focus. When you know your purpose, you become narrow-minded in the best way possible. You become like a laser. A light bulb is diffused. It's soft, it's nice, and it lights up a room. But a laser is light that has been disciplined and focused on a single point. A laser can cut through steel. Your life is meant to be a laser, not a light bulb. But you will never have that power until you stop abusing your energy on things that are beneath your calling dot. Finally, if you are to protect your purpose and manifest your vision, you must undergo the most difficult mental shift of all. You must move from the mindset of a job to the mandate of your work. Listen to me with your whole heart, Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. Your job is your skill. Your work is your gift. Most of the planet is currently trapped in a cycle of trading their time for survival. They are working for a paycheck, working for a pension, working for a weekend. But you were not created for a paycheck. You were created for a contribution. A job is a place you go to occupy a position. But your work is a mission you carry within you regardless of where you go. You can lose your job, but you can never lose your work. If you are a teacher by job, you might be laid off when the school closes. But if you are a teacher by work, if your gift is to bring clarity out of confusion, then you will teach in the grocery store, you will teach in the park, and you will teach the person sitting next to you on the bus. Your work is an extension of your very being. It is the manifestation of your design. The greatest tragedy in our modern society is that we have educated people to be employees instead of leaders. We have trained people to look for a vacancy in someone else's dream instead of looking for the fullness in their own. We have become a generation of resume builders rather than legacy builders. But I am here to tell you that you will never find true fulfillment in a resume. Fulfillment is found in the deployment of your gift. When you find your work, you stop working for a living and start living for your work. There is a massive difference between the two. When you work for a living, you are a slave to the economy. When you live for your work, the economy becomes a servant to your vision. Think of the pioneers, the inventors, and the great change makers. They didn't have jobs. Did anyone pay the Wright brothers to invent the airplane? No. They had work to do. Did anyone pay Mother Teresa to care for the dying? No, she had a mandate to fulfill. They were not looking for a vacancy, they were filling a void. You must understand that your gift is the only thing that will make you truly stable in a shaking world. Skills can become obsolete. Industries can disappear overnight. But a gift is permanent. A gift is the solution to a human need, and as long as there are humans, there will be a need for your gift. When you operate in your work, you are no longer competing with others. Competition is for people who are doing the same job. But in your work, there is no competition, because no one can be you better than you can. You are the only one with your specific fingerprint of potential. Stop asking for a job and start offering your work. When you offer your work, you don't have to beg for a place. Your gift will make room for you and bring you before great people. You were not designed to be a servant of a corporation. You were designed to be a servant of humanity through your gift. The transition from job to work is the transition from survival to significance. Bro, it is the moment you stop being a tenant of the earth and start being a landlord of your destiny. I want you to leave this place today with a holy dissatisfaction for just getting by. No. I want you to feel the weight of the forest inside your seed. I want you to feel the pressure of the music that hasn't been played. Do not go back to the safety of a job that kills your spirit. Go back to the pursuit of the work that gives you life. So I stand here today to serve you a final notice. The world has no more time for your excuses, and your potential has no more patience for your fear. The clock is ticking, not toward your failure, but toward your finish line. You have heard the principles. Bro, you have felt the stirring of the design within you. Now, the question is no longer can you do it. The question is, will you allow the earth to rob the future of your presence? Do not go back to a life of sight. Do not return to the comfort of a job while your work lies dormant and cold. No, I want you to make a covenant with yourself right now in this moment of clarity that you will not be a contributor to the wealth of the cemetery. You must decide that you are going to be a source of depletion. You are going to pour and pour and pour until the vessel of your life is bone dry. When you walk out of these doors, do not look at the traffic, do not look at the obstacles, and do not look at your bank account. Look at the vision. Speak to the seeds of greatness within you and command them to grow. You were not born to be a spectator of history. You were born to be the author of it. You have the equipment, you have the map, and you have the mandate. Go forth and exhaust your life. Release the books, the businesses, the songs, and the solutions. Live with such intensity and such focus that when your time finally comes to leave this planet, the graveyard will receive nothing but a tired, empty frame, because everything that was you has already been woven into the fabric of humanity. The world is waiting for the manifestation of your design. Stop waiting for permission and start fulfilling your promise. You are unstoppable because your purpose is inevitable. Go and die empty. Good luck on the journey to your true self. Thank you.